Hey, so this is a video about an iceberg I saw about OneShot, and I was bored. It won't be edited all in one take, and if I screw up, so be it. Sorry. I saw the image in this slide a couple of months ago. Decided to make this because a friend of mine is making an iceberg video too. But it's been out for a while now because it took so long to make this. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you're interested. It's on Mother. I also want to preface this by saying that there will be Solstice spoilers. If that wasn't obvious, this is a meme first, and actually having canon data second. All my citations, usually night margin tweets or Tumblr posts, will be in the description, assuming I don't forget. As with both icebergs, stars are pretty simple in its first layer. World Machine is depressed. First, the nihilism the World Machine expresses near the ending of Solstice playthrough. Not much to it. The author. The game makes several hints towards someone by the name of the author who created the in-game world, based off of his own dying world. He even talks to you through the ___.exe file, as well as the messages left behind in the documents folder. Nico's a cat person. It's been theorized previously that Nico is a cat person, like how Calamus and Alula are bird people. But it was officially confirmed by night during a stream celebrating the anniversary of Solstice. I don't know about of this, just take my word for it. Sorry. The Ram Club. Trading Magpie, the wool that the Ram Herder gives you by solving her puzzle after asking for a better deal, will give you a shirt that you can then wear to access the Ram Herders Club in the Refuge. Solstice Ending. If you check the documents folder, if you completed your first playthrough, you find a note left by the author. In this note, he tells you that if you delete your quote-unquote save data, you return to the world. Maybe give a happy ending if you follow his directions. Ling's Cafe. Nico asks if they can go there before going to the tower. You can enter the Pancakes achievement there if you're playing on Steam rather than itch. You've absolutely seen this in-game, but I think OP's point was the fact that a lot of people glaze over Ling being his name. Hazel. Fan given name to Nico's mom. Originally wrote it here because I had no idea, but I saw some tweet referencing it, so yeah. I did not save that tweet, and I'm sorry. Just take my word for it again. I am really, really sorry. Rachis, or Rachis, one of them. This is a name that refers to Calamus and Alula's father, former residents of the Glen. When they were young, he lived with them in the village, but moved to the ruins. Since Calamus and Alula go to visit tombstones in Solstice, it's implied that he and their mother are dead. Alright, disclaimer. Probably shouldn't watch past this if you haven't been one-shot Solstice Ending, as I'm going to be going through basically everything about the game. Alright, there's your warning. I'm going to get on with it. Second layer. In the freeware version. Before OneShot was released on Steam in 2016, a free version that I like to think was a tech demo was released in 2014. There are numerous differences between the Steam and itch version and the free version. I definitely recommend you check it out. But don't expect it to be a suitable replacement for the Steam/itch version. True resets. The Razor Reform was essentially true resets, requiring you to disable Steam backup and delete your real save file, not the fake one you see in the documents folder to activate Solstice. Playable brew. Okay, this is a doozy. You keep the game open in the countdown room. When the timer hits 0, you see a scene of Nico pressing a button, hallucinating of Rue. After this, you see a countdown timer hit 0 again, and see Rue walk to the countdown timer. She would then remark that she doesn't see Nico and walk into the vault. During this scene, you're granted control over her. And since the Solstice update came out, it's impossible to see this in-game anymore. Unused tutorial room. The counter room floor page in OneShot shows unused clippers that were intended to be for a tutorial room, but no such room is present in the final build of the game. There's also a sound effect that pertains to these clippers, supposedly of Nico cutting vines that block passage to the refuge. Nico dies, and you kill Nico. In the Return to the Sun ending, it's heavily hinted at that Nico's dead, being unable to leave the tower. Additionally, in the free version of the game, the entity warns you of closed the game via Alt F4, pressing the red X in the top right, that Nico and the world will both die. The only way to safely close the game is to go to a bed. Early journal sprites. Pretty self-explanatory. Game's files exist early journal sprites that are definitely not on the same level of polish as the final journal sprites. Debug room. As discovered by some users on Steam, there appears to be a debug room hidden in the game. This can be accessed by typing in -console into the Steam startup command. Check this out with caution, however. I won't go into more about this room for brevity's sake, but do note if you aren't careful, you can cause a true reset. I did, and cried like an idiot replaying Solstice. Molotov Nico. This is joked about several times by Knights. She likes to depict Nico holding a Molotov. Such an example would be a post made by her in January of 2020. A stunning gif of Nico throwing a Molotov and erupting into flames out of frame. It should be also noted that the second and third ever drawings of Nico show them holding Molotovs and burning stuff down. Kelvin was tamed by Rue. If you apply my sign of tamed roll-wise to Kelvin, I'll touch on in the third layer. I guess he could be tamed, but I don't think there's anything to show that it was explicitly Rue who tamed him. Penguin Room. In post-Solstice playthroughs, if you go to the countdown room and type in "Hello Penguin," you'll enter a room with a big penguin. There's a surprising amount of dialogue in this room, so I recommend checking it out. If you're low on time, you can see a video of it in the description. Unused refuge lamp bot. Oh baby, another thing taken from the cutting room floor. There's just some sprites of a robot simply called lamp bots. Looks similar to Kelvin in his face design, but as stated by Knight, it was scrapped because the colors didn't contrast well with the background of the refuge, which was intended to appear in. Here you can see a picture of the lamp bots. This is a sprite sheet that was found in game. Alright. On your container map artwork. If you open up some areas in RPG Maker XP, you can find some art. If you open up the starting room in RPG Maker XP, you can find the 3 emoticon. And the Barons find a picture of Nico saying pancakes. If you open up the map file for Glenn in RPG Maker XP, you can find a picture of Alula saying, "What are birds? We just don't know." And the Solstice Glen map file, you can find the word Nia written. If you open the Sky Refuge map file, you'll find a picture of Rue with a 3 C face written. In Ground Refuge map file, find a picture of Suyu from My Hero Academia. And in Sky Refuge Solstice, the word Mia. Alright, third layer. Here on the third layer of the iceberg. More off the wall things, but I'd say it's still pretty tame. All robots are tamed. I don't agree with this. I commented this in the original post I saw it on, but my theory is that tamed robots speak using proper capitalization, i.e. Silver, Proto, and the World Machine, and that all untamed ones, like Profitbot and the Newsbot, speak with either title case or all caps. This is why I believe that Kelvin is tamed, as I mentioned prior. He talks using proper capitalization. It should be noted, though, in the M Solstice, the gatekeeper robots speak using proper capitalization, hinting that they were tamed at some point between the ending when you saw them. Non-binary Nico. Refers to Nico being never explicitly referred to as male or female within OneShot's writing. And the developers have also refused to give a definitive answer. Personally, I do believe that Nico is non-binary, but I don't care how other people perceive them. Nico's only a few inches tall, plus human ear Nico. Refers to a joke that Knight made about how she perceives Nico, saying that Nico's only a few inches tall. Furthermore, Knight has made multiple other jokes as Nico's canon, saying things such as them having human ears. Remembers an artwork that I promise I'll link in the description. If I forget, please yell at me about it. I'm sorry, this is my first video. The Ram Herder is trans. In the Freeware version, many people believe that the Ram Herder was male. But the Ram Herder is based off of Eliza in the Steam/itch release. I assume this was about the change in pronouns used to refer to her between versions. The old world was tightly locked around a dying star. We'll explain what happened to the old world, but I don't think it's ever been explicitly confirmed. I think it's still a fun thought. Being tightly locked is when the orbit of a planet doesn't rotate correctly and one side is stuck facing away from its star, which the sun being in a tower could be an extraction of. Freeware entity is in the World Machine. This makes sense to me. The Freeware entity acts much more hostile towards the player, whereas World Machine is still pretty rude and pessimistic. They're less outwardly hostile. The Freeware true resets. It's definitely doable. I just don't know how. The Freeware version does some pretty crazy stuff to make sure you're unable to replay on the same computer. Nico's dad. There's a couple contradicting things about this. Nico's dad hasn't ever been explicitly confirmed, but I know that Knight made a Tumblr post saying he's probably been working outside of Nico's home ever since they were a toddler. Also knows that the album art for his time to fight crime. I know I said that was their dad. Furthermore, I know that Knight made a tweet saying that Leon from Pokemon was their dad, and you know what? That's really funny to me, so I'm gonna roll with it. Solstice Trio robots. At the end of the Solstice route, if you talk to Proto before any of their members of the Solstice Trio, Nico asks what it's like being a robot. Interestingly, Cedric and Rue also reply, hinting that they are robots too. Knight also made a tweet teasing about it in 2018. Alternate universes. Unsure. This could be referring to the fact that the game is distributed differently and played uniquely. I guess is that this refers to the way that the game played differently among different people. I guess it makes sense if you think of every copy as its own individual universe, kind of like Pokemon. The author is dead. Not really much is known about the author. He speaks to the play at the end of the regular route, but from what's left of the Solstice route, there's no real evidence to suggest he's still alive. He may well have been used his last bit of himself to make the Solstice patch, just because of how much he cared about the World Machine, the Residents, Cedric, Rue, Proto, and Nico. Fourth layer. Talks a lot more about spiritual and social elements behind Nico and the World Machine. Mainly Nico, with a lot of talks on them. Nico lives in a commune. In the Q&A Knight held on Tumblr, she was asked about Nico's mom, when she said she was planning to be a custodian for all the children in Nico's village, and they were all raised to be as part of a group due to a special society. This was changed just to make her Nico's mom, since it was easier for them to explain to the player. Nico's a robot. Reference to the fan theory that I haven't watched. I've seen it talked about before, but I've never decided to watch it. I don't want to plagiarize what the original video says, so I definitely recommend checking it out if you're interested. Different Nico for playthrough. I sort of get the rationale behind this. I decided to do a true reset. It says that Nico never knew you existed. I sort of touched on the alternate universes in the third layer. I guess if you think about each run of the game as its own universe, it makes sense there to be a different Nico each time. OneShot is a Christian game, plus Nico is Jesus, plus Matthew 11:30. I don't practice Christianity, but I know the quote, "My burden is light," maybe the title screen music of OneShot, is from the aforementioned Matthew 11:30 of the Bible. There's also a lot of comparisons you can draw between Nico and Jesus, as both are considered messiahs with some link to God. Nico is a product of mitosis. Eliza said in a tweet from June 2020, joking that Nico might be a product of mitosis when talking about Nico's dad. Hidden item in the Nico flesh. Gur, the OneShot developer, not me, so people know me as Gur, as a pin message and plus posting on the OneShot Discord server saying the Easter egg for opening the Nico plushie is the fact you're a bad person, which I sort of agree with. Dual Machine is an interdimensional being. Only thing I can think of for this is the fact that Dual Machine somehow came from the author's reality, ended up on the Steam and itch store, but that also assumes the author isn't from our reality and says he's from a different one. I don't know. Come to your own conclusion about this, I guess. Nico's a pyromaniac. I already mentioned Molotov Nico, so I guess this is an extension of that. Both official and unofficial media, Nico's often depicted with Molotovs and is burning things down. Don't want to touch on this too much since I already did, though. Fifth layer. Okay, I was just going to completely gloss over this layer since it's all basically nonsense or rampant speculation. I'll do it rapid fire for the obviously joking ones. Alright, Steam version Nico death. Guesses as would have been a leftover from Freeware? I don't know. But Nico never dies outwardly on Steam /itch unless he got the Return to Sun ending. Corrupted Refuge. This is a reference to the ending of Freeware, where when you reach the tower, you're greeted to a distorted version of the refuge, or a faster version of On Little Cat Feet plays. The Squad Strike energy. Some energy having to do with OneShot Discord server? I'm not really sure on this, because I'm not really active in the OneShot Discord server. I don't want to say anything that might be wrong. If you want to look more into this, go ahead, but I can't provide many sources aside from people active in the server. Markiplier Solstice playthrough. Reference to the fact Markiplier never did a playthrough of the Steam version of OneShot, but before Solstice. He never came back and did Solstice. Okay, it's rapid fire and Joe time, baby. Every copy of OneShot is personalized. Obvious reference to the Mars 64 iceberg. Hello Penguin's Roll Machine. I guess it could be, but I'm pretty sure the penguin is a reference to the game also called Hello Penguin. In-game use of It's Time to Fight Crime. It's Time to Fight Crime is never referenced anywhere in the game files, only exists as part of the OST on Bandcamp. Freeware entity wanted Alula dead. I mean, I guess she was trapped there for a long time, but I guess really can't find anything about this specifically. Freeware entity is Monica? No. Or say is Nico. Again, no. Nico's real. They're real if you want them to be. Besides, it won't change the fact they exist in your memory. The characters are sentient. If you follow what Nico says to War Machine about the way the people in the world react to the new events, I guess it shows they are. But the point of Solstice was to also get the World Machine to realize the fact it's tamed. The author is Gaster. I mean, sure, if you really want. I can't disprove that, but I can't prove it either. And finally, OneShot is a shared dream. What? What is this about this? Okay. In conclusion, I don't really know how to end this. This is my first, serious video, though. I'm pretty sure there's a lot I could have done better, but I think it still turned out pretty good. All my citations should be in the description, and again, if not, you can get mad at me in the comments until I fix it. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.